Last night you had a board of directors meeting on the Arkansas side of Texarkana, Arkansas. Talk about what happened in the meeting last night.
We had one item of interest on the agenda, and that was we had presented a memorandum of understanding between Texarkana, Arkansas, and Riverbend, and it was an agreement that we would agree to talk and that we would agree to look at opportunities that maybe we could go into and enter contracts or negotiations that would benefit both Texarkana, Arkansas, and Riverbend. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've always said, is that Texarkana, Arkansas is willing to talk as long as we have an equal place at the plate, and that our interest is going to be the primary discussion of what's going to benefit Texarkana, Arkansas.
Sure. Now, for you, what would be the best case scenario with Riverbend if indeed this Riverbend thing goes down like we think it's going to go down, and it probably is? How does Texarkana, Arkansas benefit from a Riverbend scenario?
Well, I've always said that the regional water needs is got to depend upon water from Millwood. Mm-hmm. I mean, it cannot happen. The area cannot meet its water needs without water from Millwood. Texarkana, Arkansas currently has the right to 50 million gallons a day, that's a lot of water, considering that right now we're using maybe 24 million gallons, 25 million gallons
sure.
a day. And this is the drought season. Mm-hmm. It's hot, so at that, you look at that, then we have quite a bit of water that's accessed to Texarkana, Arkansas. This benefits Texarkana, Arkansas citizens. Mm-hmm. So the deal that I'm looking for is that we have a contractual obligation to provide water to Texarkana, Texas residents. That's on our 1985 agreement. Sure. But we do not have any other contractual agreements or requirements to provide water to any other entity, whether it's the member cities, whether it's Tex America, whether it's Lone Star, whoever it is. But we are willing to negotiate with whoever, mm-hmm. and it happens to be, and it appears to be, that's going to be Riverbend, mm-hmm. that we're willing to negotiate to provide that water that is a acceptable price for Texarkana, Arkansas, that Texarkana, Arkansas citizens can benefit from that.
Mm-hmm. Explain the working relationship between the city of Texarkana, Arkansas, and city of Texarkana, Texas when it comes to TW, because our understanding is that the Texas side is wanting to move the water production out of TW.
And that is, as I understand it, and that's where we differ. We believe that in the 1985 agreement, which goes back to the 69 agreement, goes back to 48, all these agreements is that we've always agreed that TWU would be the entity that would manage the water system for Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texarkana, Texas. Mm-hmm. We believe that you cannot divest yourself of that without the concurrence of the other party. It's a 50-50. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be disagreements. That's any relationship that you have with any person, you're going to have disagreements.
Sure.
And then it's how do you work it out? If you look at it in a marriage, you may have disagreements. If it gets to the point that you disagree so much that you just cannot ever, you don't think you can agree, then you go to a third person. Sometimes that's a marriage counselor. Sometimes it's your pastor. Mm-hmm. It's a third party that both of you can sit down and talk with and maybe work through the situation. Well, in our agreement, it's called arbitration. Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing we're asking is that we have our belief. Texarkana, Texas has their belief. It's at different ends of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. But we also have an agreement that we're going to participate in arbitration if we cannot ever agree. And that's the only thing we're asking is let's follow what's the right thing.
Sure.
And if a third party tells us that we're wrong, then Texarkana, Arkansas is willing to accept that. But we really do believe, and that's the reason we're comfortable, and we have no intention of dropping our federal lawsuit to require arbitration unless Texarkana, Texas returns everything back to TWU that was taken from TWU, the responsibilities, and acknowledge that it is a co-owned, co-managed entity, and that we're going to work together. And if one side don't agree, then we're going to try to work it out and see if we can. But we have no intention of dropping our lawsuit.
Where does that stand right now?
We are currently, a mediation was attempted. Mediation failed. There was an impasse declared by the federal magistrate here in the Texarkana area. It is now before a federal judge in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The federal judge, the only decision he's going to be making is do we have a legitimate reason to demand, or he can order Texarkana, Texas to arbitrate our issues. And that's what the federal judge is going to make decisions. He's not going to decide who's right or wrong. He's not going to decide what we need to do, how we're going to do it. An arbitrator does that, and that's where Texas has refused to abide by the contract of arbitration. We're asking the federal judge to order Texarkana, Texas to follow the contract and arbitrate our dispute.
How soon do you look for a decision on that?
That I don't know. Ned Stewart, our city attorney, is the one that's handling that, and that's one where really my perspective is, as the mayor, I'm not a legal person. I'm not an attorney, and we pay him to deal with that. He has sent a request up to appear before the federal judge to be able to state our case before the federal judge does that. We've got to get on the docket. Once we get on the docket, the judge and his clerk sets the docket time. Once they set that, then I will be glad to let you know when that docket's going to be.
Good. Mayor Wayne Smith, thank you, sir, for coming in and doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you so much.